Okay, viewers, when privacy stopped feeling private, the final verdict. When inclusion became invasion. Sorry, I just had lunch. The law promised protection, and the protections were there before 2013 for the biological. But 13 years later, women are asking why protection feels like exposure since 2013. Why privacy feels abandoned. Why boundaries feel abandoned. Why institutions feel distant, ignorant. Why biology keeps signalling danger while policy keeps demanding accommodation. And that's the final verdict. The issue was never merely inclusion. The issue was what happened when inclusion entered the boundary. It was never created to govern. I'm going to say that again. Listen. The issue was what happened in 2013 when inclusion entered the boundary. It was never created to govern. Inclusion becomes invasion when it enters a female boundary created because biological sex matters. That is the clinical, legal, and biological crux. I'll say that again. You should be writing this down. Inclusion becomes invasion when it enters a female boundary created because biological sex matters. That is the clinical, legal, and biological crux. It's not the reality, but it's the crux. 2013 abolished that. The 2013 framework placed biological governance and identity governance into shared authority over female protections, and nobody seems to know why, because it wasn't about inclusion. But female privacy cannot survive shared sovereignty, because it wasn't the way divine sovereignty planned all this. This is institutional. It's actually institutional abuse on divine sovereignty creation. A boundary created by biology must be governed by biology. Anything else turns protection into negotiation. For 13 years, women have carried a contradiction the law refused to settle. Female privacy was supposed to remove vigilance. Instead, co-governance produced vigilance. Female boundaries were supposed to remove uncertainty. Instead, shared authority produced boundary instability. And female protections were supposed to carry the burden. And instead, women began carrying it inside their nervous system. Hypervigilance, self-silencing, institutional distrust, anticipatory threat assessment, adaptive withdrawal, boundary sensitivity, nervous system fatigue. These are not abstract political reactions. This is actually but they are trauma pattern consequences produced when biological women are forced to live inside a boundary that no longer belongs exclusively to biological governance. The law may still speak the language of protection, but if biological women cannot rely upon female privacy without challenge, reinterpretation, litigation, institutional retreat, or forced accommodation, then the protection does not exist in any meaningful female privacy sense. It exists as paperwork. It does not exist as sovereignty. It exists as language. It does not exist as rest. It exists as policy. It does not exist as refuge. And this is why biological women refused this 2013 rewrite. Biology continued recognizing the exposure. Biology continued recognizing the risk. Biology kept recognizing intrusion. And biology continued resisting what ideology attempted to normalize. And the final question, viewers, is not whether transgender people possess protections. They do. Oh, yes, they do. The final question is whether those protections can govern female boundaries without destroying the purpose of those boundaries. And the answer is no. My final statement for this series. The verdict is that co-mutual governance has completely and utterly failed under the 2013 sex discrimination law amendments. It's failed. It has not produced peace. It has not produced psychological or physical safety. It has not produced institutional trust. It has produced chronic collision, boundary fatigue, female distress, litigation, distrust, and biological resistance. And the remedy is not endless negotiation. The remedy is restoration. Female privacy must return to biological sovereignty. And where biology created the need for the boundary, biology must govern the boundary. Because when inclusion enters the space biology created for protection, inclusion no longer functions as inclusion. It becomes invasion. And when the biological woman becomes the last remaining defender of privacy, privacy has already stopped feeling private. And that's my closing statement, ladies. I hope this helps you. I'll see you in the next series. Bye for now. And if anybody wants to come on and talk, please come on and talk. Bye for now.